What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. I want to talk about AMC in this video again because I don't think people understand how much AMC is heavily shorted, right? It's still being shorted day in and day out. Is it something that's being held crazy overnight? Maybe not, right? And there may be some things behind the scenes that we just don't see. But I know for a fact that hedge funds, big banks, smart money, right? They all believe that AMC is a failing business and that streaming is the way. I've even seen some comments on the last video that I made talking about how streaming is still the way and streaming is the future. I don't disagree with streaming as the future. Streaming is going to be the future in how we take in a lot of content. Just like how we see YouTube as a major way to get a lot of your content, a lot of your news rather than news sources, honestly. But the point is that that's not going to be a money driver for a lot of these studios. And you know how they want to spend more and more money on more complex things. You understand that CGI is expensive. You understand that all these green screens and special effects and things that they're doing is very, very expensive. So doing that, they need ticket sales. They need individual ticket sales in order to do that rather than the cost of what's happening with streaming unless you want streaming prices to go up. Like that's how it's going to end up being. And then they're going to end up getting to a point where Netflix has been losing money consistently. And a lot of people talk about how they're profitable, but they have literally billions of dollars in debt. And they gather more and more debt every single year. And it's because streaming is not necessarily profitable, even though it makes it seem like bottom line that they are profitable. But what they're holding on their balance sheet is not that profitable, right? So let's talk about this. Let's talk about AMC. Let's talk about why I believe that it is still heavily shorted and why it's still a great play. But guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out any of the links that are down below. It does help out the channel. And if you want to follow me on Rumble, I have a link to Rumble if you want to follow over there. But let's talk about AMC. Let's start with the short interest, right? We have to start there. And if we look at the short interest, it's 11%, way lower than where it was, I believe at like 30%, 20 to 30% at some points. But we're seeing it at 11.13% as of today. If we look at the short interest value, it's about $113 million. If you look at the utilization, we're looking at about 42%, right? The standard stuff that you really want to look at. And you understand that 11% is still high, right? That's still very, very high, but it's nowhere near what we saw with like GameStop when it was like 100+% short. And then even other ones that are 50% or when AMC was 30%. It's still massively lower compared to there, but it still is high. What does this really mean? This means the short interest, the amount of shorted shares that are held overnight over a longer period of time, right? Rather than the shorts that are happening throughout the day. If you short something, it doesn't contribute to this number, it doesn't contribute to that until you get to an extended point. So if you are, let's say, shorting it in the day to keep the price down, and as you see people react to that, it gives you the ability to now cover and see the price climb a little bit. That's something that you see standard practices on to keep a price down, to manipulate the price, even if it's controlled by the overall or overwhelming amount of retail traders. We've seen that time and time again, but I don't think people understand that. If we look at Fintel, right? Like if we look at Fintel, we're going to see that and look at the short interest here. So the short volume ratio, you can see that on the first, which is yesterday, you saw 41% short volume ratio, meaning that out of all the volume that's out there, 41% of the time they are short. You understand that there's sell volume, there's you can sell within the market, you can sell the market, and then you can also buy long, right? So you're seeing, and then you also have options and stuff like that. But we're focusing mainly on that. If we look at all of the volume that happens within there, we're going to see that short volume takes up 41% of that. That's a massive amount, meaning that they're strategically placing it in spots to where they can make a significant amount of money and also make an impact on stabilizing the price at whatever they feel like it should stabilize as. It's not about recovering, it's about them stabilizing it and controlling the price, manipulating the price. They've done this time and time again. And you can see that every single day. It's not like just one day. You can see it's at 38%, 40, 48%, 36, 38, 41, 45. We see it at 51% at one time where, they're shorting it over half the volume that happens in the day. Understand this, that if you wanted to keep a price down and you had a lot of money, all you really have to do, and this is a simple way of looking at it, all you really have to do is short the position a massive amount up front, see the price that's dropping, and then wait for people to react. Those people end up reacting and when they do react, they end up reacting at a certain level to where they buy really quickly, right? So they'll buy at a level to where they feel like it's going to bounce. But if the shorters take away that bounce as well, now they have a downturn. People bought a little bit, but then that downturn again, breaking through that level of support. And once it breaks through that level of support, those people sell that just bought in for a short-term trade, as well as people from the prior half end up selling because of all of the negativity. And when they sell, they now have a chance with that gap that retail traders end up selling. They end up having a gap to cover and make it seem like it's dropping even more, but then also make it seem like it's more of a fake out breakout situation at the end because they're just covering their shorts. And then you see it drop again and again and again. It just happens over and over and over again. I see it all the time. And you have to understand that they have a way of manipulating the price because they have money. And if you don't understand that, you will never be able to be successful in the stock market unless you're trading with their system, always with their system, which is buying long into an ETF and letting it sit there for years and years. I invest that way as well, but you know what? I also invest the other way where I'm looking for more short-term trading, understanding what these institutions are going to do, what these hedge funds are going to do, and then I go from there. So anyways, before we really run out of time here, let's go into a Webull, and you're going to see that currently AMC is down by about 3%. If we look at overall history and where this has dropped, right, this has dropped pretty far here. I do want to look at maybe the 1 minute chart, or you know what, let's look at the 5 minute chart just to see where this has been, because it is 158 currently, which by the time this video goes up, the market should be closed. But it decreased down. We saw it decrease down really, really hard, and then it started to increase back up, getting back up to above the 4 cent mark, but now clearly below that point and has stair-stepped ever since, right? Now creating that negativity, creating that channel downward. Now we're looking for a certain break, which it has broken past this previous low. So you're probably going to be looking for a previous level of support in order to see that bounce off of. And it looks like it did slightly bounce here, and it might have been a very quick turnaround, but it might end up breaking through that point in the next couple of minutes, because it's looking like it's really, really strong of a sell volume here. But either way, I did end up buying a little bit more. Let me go ahead. I have it locked. So I did end up buying a little bit more. I bought 10 more shares of AMC. I'm going to continue to buy more AMC because I believe in what AMC can do. I believe in the financial statements, the financial backing of AMC. I believe in the business model. It's just whatever they end up doing with it, are they going to succeed there, and are we going to see retail traders continue to stay strong with it? So that's where currently AMC is. I'm I have 381 shares of AMC at a value of 76. Yeah, $76.19. That's not what the value is. I mean, that's my cost basis basically. The value should be somewhere around $1,000+ or so. But waiting for this to push back up, waiting for this to make a solid move, and I'm going to continue to invest into more AMC because I believe in that position. I believe in that business. Probably until I get to about 1,000. Once I get 1,000 AMC, I'll be happy with that. And I currently have, like I said, 381. So I'll consistently add more and more to the pot. I might end up adding more, not tomorrow, Monday or so, Tuesday, something like that. And we'll see how we go from there. But guys, let me know what you think about AMC. Am I right by saying this when it comes to the short interest? It's still heavily shorted throughout the day, and it's still heavily short as we look at the short interest. So that's my opinion of it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.